Welcome back to my garden. It's the last day of March and I wanted to make sure I documented what the garden was looking like. Probably the biggest change we've had in the garden is the adding of the rock pathways. It's just done such a nice job of opening up the space and cleaning it up, and so much less mud when I'm walking around, especially on the days that it rains a lot. So grateful that we were able to do that. But to start the tour, I'm gonna come back here to a pineapple that I've grown since November of 2022. I took the top off a pineapple and I grew the roots, and it's finally coming out. So I'm super proud of her. I pulled it from one of my uncle's plants, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to put it in the ground and get some more pups out of her. Over here I have my celery. It's the first time I grew celery and she's doing really well. It's in this half barrel. So every so often I'll come in and just harvest some stalks. They're still kind of skinny, but I think with the heat that we have here in South Florida, I'm pretty proud that she hasn't bolted and she's still doing good and tastes good. I also have planted randomly some onions in here, and funny enough, I actually had sweet potatoes before, and you could see there's a sweet potato vine that popped out, so maybe I'll get some sweet potato when I harvest more of those. This is my big lemongrass. I've had this one for a couple years, and it started as a small little herb and in a garden bed, and I had to move it over to here, but she's just real happy there. And here, one of the nicest surprises, I have these two irises in front of my my little bird bath, and I didn't even know that she was going to bloom purple flowers, and they've just been so fun. I've gotten already like 3 sets of flowers. You could see some of the older ones that have died out there, but so pretty, and they last just for a day, but it's been really exciting to see. One really cute find that I found was in my fountain. I have this little egg holder, that orange egg holder, and it's because I've been seeing a lot of bees buzz around the actual bird bath, and so it's been kind of cool to have a little space for the bees to have a little bit more shallow water. And then back here, I just have a bunch of orchids blooming. I have some in the back there that I've had for a couple years, and they just kind of flush out whenever they want. I also have these helicornia plants. I think I shared it in one of my tours that a year ago I got on my birthday, and they're actually gonna shoot out some of their claws, so that those will be really pretty once they come out. And then just as I pan over here, I know I've mentioned this in past videos, but this was a milkweed plant that was my grandmother's, and my grandmother gave it to my cousin, and my cousin gave it to me, so it's kind of cool to be able to pass down things like that. This is where I have my hummingbird feeder, and that plant that's back there, when I originally got it, they told me it's really nice to attract hummingbirds. I don't remember the name, but I try to plant like flowers randomly around here, kind of where I have my rosemary and stuff, and I've seen plenty of hummingbirds buzzing around here, so that's been a really cool experience. And then here I have my compost. It's actually doing really well. It's pretty much ready. So I just have to pull it out and take out some of the compost and put in the garden. This is a bleeding heart plant that I got maybe like a year ago, and a lot of her died back, but now that spring and summer is coming, she's coming back. So then just taking you back a little bit this way so you can get a view of the garden from this side. It's actually a really pretty time of day. It's around like 6:45 and the sun is setting. So it gives a nice perspective of what the garden looks like from this end. So these 4 Vigo garden beds was kind of like my phase 2 of the garden. My phase 1 was this round one, and then my third phase was this one there. So then just over here, just a quick view of some of the plants. I have a firebush, a Barbados cherry, a moringa, roselle. I have a papaya that's actually about to bear fruit, which is kind of exciting right here. And this almond bush, which smells so yummy. I love it when it blooms. And this is like one of my favorite gifts that I've received. My girlfriend bought this for me for my birthday this year. And it has like the name of my Instagram account and when it was established. So was a really cool gift to give. This is my fig tree. I'm not sure how it's doing. So it still has some green buds here. So I'm hoping that she comes back. We'll see. And one of my show-stopping orchids that just bloomed, I just noticed it blooming this Monday. So hopefully I'll have a couple more days of it, but I got this one at an orchid show a couple years ago, and she's just so beautiful. This one also bloomed, but it's at the end of its bloom. And then I have this like butterfly bush here that's kind of starting to climb up the orchid. A few more orchids there. And this is my banana tree that actually supposedly has bananas that taste like ice cream. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I actually had an opportunity yesterday to put some of the old pavers back here and just tidy up the space a little. So I'm really happy how that came out. And then eventually here, I'm gonna do like a shade house because I have an avocado tree above, which is amazing, but it does release a lot of leaves. And I would like a space where, you know, maybe I can do some potting and I don't have mosquitoes, or I can do it if it's raining. So that'll be eventually a plan. This is one of my favorite things to grow, and it's a Cuban oregano. But what I love about it is you can literally just take a leaf and put it in the ground or in a pot and it'll root up. And I'll just show you real quick. I've actually been rooting these for my girlfriend. And you can see if I just tug it out, it already is starting some roots right there. And all I did was literally just put it in there and it grows its roots. So it's a really easy process. This is one of the plants that I'm propagating for my girlfriend, and I just put it in a pot and it grows roots. And so I love being able to give these away. This one is actually another Cuban oregano, but it's like a variegated version. So looking forward for that one to grow as big as the other one. Just some strawberry plants that I have to pot up. This is an orchid that I actually gave one to a good friend of mine in memory of her daughter, Lucy. And so I like to have it here so I remember her, and some Hoyas and oxalis that I have here. This is actually a really nice tile that I picked up in Cabo when I went just recently. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I might like add some tiles up here from like, you know, my travels or stuff. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it. So I'll just leave it there. These are some dragon fruit that I'm growing. And I was able to put in like a nice little seating area there. So that's this side of the garden. I'm going to slowly go this way so you guys don't get dizzy. Then just looking back at the garden from this angle. So here I have a little eggplant. I actually thought the eggplant wasn't doing very well, so I'm surprised I got a little baby eggplant out of it. So we'll see how good that does. But this is my longevity spinach. the one that's pouring here. And I actually like eating this. This is a great spinach substitute for us. It's like a tropical spinach. I planted it last year and it was just a small little cutting, and it's really done a great job just flowing over. In this bed, I have potatoes that are starting to die back. I have this gorgeous herb that's called tilo, and it's really great to make teas for like upset stomach and stuff. And then I picked up this patio tomato, which has actually 2 tomatoes I'll probably harvest today, and a few more over here. So haven't had much success with tomatoes, so I'm hoping that next year will be better. In this bed here, you'll see in the front I have some peppers. I'm growing here garlic and onions, but I'm thinking it's getting a little too hot too fast. So this weekend I did put in this 40% shade cloth on top, and I'm hoping that they're able to hold out a little bit longer. Down here I have some more potatoes that are starting to die back. This is the bed that I had root knot nematodes. So I had like 8 tomato plants in here, but I only had one that's actually survived. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna treat it with like crab meal and cut up some marigolds and kind of till it in and see how it does. This bed, all the beds I'm really about to switch over to summer crops, but it has some of the end of my bok choy. This is where I had my my loofah plant all here, and so I just recently pulled that out this week. I had a cauliflower over there that never gave fruit, and over here I have some cauliflower as well that I already harvested the cauliflower, so I just have to pull out the leaves. This is actually I planted it not too long ago, and it seems like they're doing good. It's called an Ashley cucumber. So I planted a few of them, so I'm hoping that these do okay there. And then I just have some random herbs and such on the bottom down here. A few more peppers that I've gotten a few peppers from. This is the first year that I have peppers here. Last year I had it in one of the big beds, and I think just shading it behind these beds has been good for it. And then over here I have this beautiful rainbow kale. This is actually my second one. That other bed has one too. And I really loved harvesting these, making kale chips and such. It's been a really nice thing to grow. I just recently took out a bunch of stuff from here as well. I had some bok choy and things that, more cool weather stuff for us. So these will be like the end of salads for us. I'm starting to grow some sweet potato slips on these. These are like Asian sweet potatoes that I got from an Asian market. So I've never grown this type, so you kind of leave it halfway in, and then as it grows the slips, you can pull it off and root them. So I'm hoping it works from there. This is just a sage plant that I got a pot. This is where I had my tomatoes. And they didn't do great. They were so-so. I've gotten like just a handful of tomatoes. So I planted these 5 here when the other 8 died. So it just doesn't seem like it's a big tomato year for me. But yeah, that's pretty much a tour of the garden. It's so cool to see it change month over month. This month, I'm going to start transitioning the beds to summer, like I mentioned earlier, and, planting some more things that are hardy for our heat, because it's starting to warm up here, definitely. So, thinking of doing things like sweet potato, roselle, Seminole pumpkin, things like that. So hope you enjoyed this tour, and hope you're able to get your gardens ready for the next season, whichever that may be. Have a good evening.